conflict. So we need conflict resolution. We need to have people who we could basically tap into who's dealing with conflict, not this quote unquote online, curated lifestyle that everybody is selling us. That's not real. We want the real. So that's one of the reasons why I'm here with this sister, because she's giving you the real. Okay. So without any further ado, at what age would a woman and her male child, in your opinion, at what age does the father take that child and rear him?
It's steps. You don't do it overnight because it traumatizes a child. So when a child is young, ideally you have both parents interacting. It should always be both parents.
All the time, right?
When they hit 13, that's their rites of passage. You have to set in his mind now you're a man. But at 13.
Wow. Okay.
At 13, you're a man. But grown men still want to be held and hugged.
Of course.
So you should still hold and hug your son. My son, probably once every 2 months, he'll just come lay with me. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad he'd come get that from me instead of having to sleep with every girl at his school, hoping to feel that. I can feel that from my mom. Mm-hmm. Y'all can't impress me. Y'all have to be like my mama or better for me to even look your way.
Right.
So I wish we would give that same reinforcement to boys as we do to girls. A man do all this for his daughter, like, oh yeah, no man won't press her, and then women just neglect their son, talking about let him be a man. No, love on him too. Make it hard for a woman too. My mama was that girl. Who are you? Right. You want that for your son.
I think in the past 20 years, 10 years, there's been a dichotomy where mothers and daughters have become more of a, that you can't tell a distinction, right? So you could go to the club and see a mother and a daughter in the club together. Mm-hmm. We didn't see that but back in the days, right? So this is somewhat of a new phenomenon. My question to you, is that more of a positive? Because you brought up the fact of mothers being jealous of their daughters, right? And that being something that, a lot of people have experienced in life. That's that sabotage thing, that sabotage energy of, bitch, who are you? You know what I mean? So is that a good thing now that the mothers are becoming more closer? They listen to the same music. They shop at the same stores. They might even be into the same men and whatnot. Is that a positive or a negative in your eyes?
That's definitely a negative. Because 2 women in the same club are competition. 2 single women in the same club are competition. And what happens is the mother, she's not able to differentiate. She see a guy and she like, ooh, he fine.
Right.
And he like, your daughter.
Right.
And now, inevitably, because women naturally are catty and competitive like that.
Right.
We as women, as being the physically weaker species, we fight here, which means lies, manipulation. Okay. So when you have 2 women, mother and daughter, and the man she like, no, honey, you 45. Look at your daughter that's 25. Naturally, that will make her have a certain, and that's why the older women give young girls bad advice. Let me turn you into me, so you ain't better than me. So they naturally coddle women in their bad behavior, because I don't want you being better than I am, because then this man I like, he gonna be trying to call you.
You know who I automatically deferred to? Ronnie from Players Club. Remember what Ronnie was doing?
She was getting all of them to do the same thing she was doing.
She was sabotaging Lisa Ray. Diamond.
Yeah.
Yeah. In my humble opinion, she was lining her up.
And Ebony.
She lined her up.
Ebony said, I just came to dance.
Right.
Why she did Ebony like that in the movie?
I think it was jealousy.
Yeah. Let me destroy you so you ain't better than me. Cause I'm trying to get that man.
Interesting. I've been watching a lot of those videos where it's like 1 man versus 20 women. Oh. I love them shits. I love them shits. It's a case study.
They reveal. Yes, it is.
It is a case study in the mind state of our people in this current day paradigm.
Yes, it is.
I am watching it, taking notes, right? I have negative reviews of it, and I got positive. I don't want to harp on the negative, okay? Because we have enough of that. You don't need me for that. You feel me? It's enough of that going around. I want to highlight the positives, okay? The positive that I'm seeing in some of these videos are the fact that I'm learning from women who I may have judged differently, right? Based off of
Okay.
appearance, right?
Okay.
A BBL, you know, the silky Hawaiian tickling her butt, you know, the long
The bust down.
the
That's the
bust
bust
down. Oh,
down.
that's the bust
That's
down.
a 30-inch bust
I
down.
thought it was the watch.
For a woman, a man
for
it's
the
a
woman?
watch. A woman it's a wig. A
There
good
you go.
wig.
A good wig.
Like when you got a bust down, girl, you got that 30-inch bust down. Like
Good wig. Everybody does hair when they ask, what you do? I do hair, you know, OnlyFans.
ain't got no license.
Yeah, it's a lot of hair being done these days. Kudos to that. But I'm watching these videos because I'm attempting to create something in this community to solve some of the quote unquote blatant disparities. And that's the fact that we don't have social settings, right? We don't have, like, as a conscious man, where would you meet a conscious woman? Where would you meet your goddess at? At Tassili's? Like where do you meet her? Online to get a punani wrap? Like we don't have outlets for that. Nobody has built a stage for us to display who we are. So we're somewhat silent. I know brothers that are like yearning to find somebody, but all they could do is go in DMs and whatnot. And we know that that's kind of creepy these days. Like they don't. So their ego is like, I'm not gonna say nothing to her. I'm gonna wait for her to look at me. You know, I'm like, I'm gonna hope that she could telepathically send me a request type shit. I want to know. I want to ask you. For my brothers, but I want you to speak to, to the sisters. What would be what would be the top 5 things that a conscious goddess, black man loving sister is looking for in her divine masculine counterpart?
Well, I think that first of all, one of the words you said that was interesting was ego.
Yeah.
And if a man is in a relationship with his ego, he doesn't have room for the feminine. He doesn't have room for the woman. A man have to divorce his ego before he can get a real woman. So the top, I would say, first of all,
how does that work? I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut your wisdom. I did something in 2018 called the Toad. You ever heard of that?
The Toad?
Toad. Like it's a toad, what a toad, like a frog? Toad medicine.
Oh, no, I haven't heard of it.
It's a plant-based medicine. Mike Tyson talks about it. You know what I mean? It's
like a mushroom?
It's bigger than mushroom. It's the most it's at the pinnacle of the healing journey.
Okay.
It's called the God molecule. And I went through what is called an ego death. I actually experienced the ego death twice. And one of the things that I realized with the ego death is, yes, you can kill the ego, but you're going to come back. Because when I had the ego death, I left the body. But immediately, as soon as I got back in the body, the ego was there. I can't divorce the ego. I can't separate the ego. The ego is Red Pill, Philip Moreland, a black man from New York. All of that is ego. That's what the ego death showed me. That we're so into ego about who we think we are. And that's not who we are. We're vessels. This is what is known as a spacesuit, right? Because once this light leaves this spacesuit, it becomes one with the earth. Okay? I'm animated because of the sentient light inside of the spacesuit. But once that light leaves, I'm hard, I'm cold, I'm a husk. I've been to many funerals and I've seen it with my own eyes. That's not who we are. You feel me? That's like a vehicle. And who we are is our spirit, it's our sentient light and whatnot. So what would a divorcing of an ego look like to a black man, especially a conscious man who sees himself as God?
Yeah, that's why I say divorce the ego so you can marry the woman.
Right.
The woman takes the place. You're right. If you try to divorce your ego and leave it empty, it's an empty hole.
Right.
You divorce the ego and you fill it with your woman. The ego is nothing but a invisible peanut gallery of dudes on your shoulder line. You gonna let her talk to you like that? Oh, so you gonna take that?
That's gang.
Oh, you and so too many times the man ends up appeasing the ego, which is the invisible audience. You're not the main character in other story. No one is really looking. You really can do what worked for you as a man.
Right.
But when you got an invisible peanut gallery of dudes talking under their breath, like, you gonna allow that you end up appeasing that and neglecting a woman. You can never please both.
Right.
And I think when a man realizes this is just all in my head, this is this ego thing of, trying to appease the invisible peanut gallery, it's not even real. My woman is real. That's what I mean by divorcing the ego and marrying your woman. So I would say this, the number one thing I've seen for that's turn-offs for women is, number one, a man with no plan. A lot of men, they see a pretty flower. Oh, that's a pretty flower.
Right.
Then they go pick it. Ooh.
Right.
You ain't got no water, no vase. You ain't got no
soil.
sun, no soil. And a woman, if you pick a woman up and do not have vehement direction, let me test you for 2 years and see how it goes. I already know what you want. Prove to me you're not that. Feminine women of quality don't do that. You can't, I don't care how much you work on yourself as a man. Right. You can't never present yourself to a quality woman like, I'm here.
Right.
I got the money. I'm handsome.
Right.
Come on. It will never happen. It'll never happen. Women that are truly, lay out
something to her.
Women in their true femininity, I don't care how great you are, you have to come to her. So I see a lot of brothers be like, well, you need to wait till she choose on you first. Well, what do they say if an animal come up to you and be too friendly? Like a wild animal come up to you, what they say? It might have rabies, right?
Right.
They like, if an animal just come up to you,
right,
and it's overly, and he's not afraid of you in a way,
right,
stay away. There's probably something wrong with it.
Right.
Why would you want a woman who chose you? Why would you want a woman who came up to you and offered herself proactively to you? She have rabies, which the men always figure out later on was free cost the most when it come to women. So the first thing is, I see too many brothers, they don't want to hear what a woman got to say about women. I don't care how big of a player you are, how many women you've slept with. I don't care. You're not a woman.
Right.
The same way women, we need men who are not trying to sleep with us to guide us.
Right.
Men need the same thing. I don't get how we really divide ourselves by thinking that one of us needs some and the other don't. Whatever one of us needs, the other also needs.
So you're saying counsel. From the opposite sex,
yes,
that you're not intimate with.
Yes, and she have no dog in the fight.
She don't got no dog in the fight.
Yeah,
she's just there as the homie.
Yeah, you need to listen to her.
Like how y'all got hairdressers.
What do you mean by that?
You know, gay men.
Gay men to give a straight woman advice about men? No,
that's he want the men.
Gay men want straight men. I'm not. You want straight men.
Right.
Gay men, they're always going to discourage the relationship because they want the man for themselves. So I'm not going to listen to a gay man. Okay. A straight man, absolutely.
Interesting.
But it's also different for women and men. You know, It's easier for a man to find a woman, even if she's an older woman. You know, find a woman that you feel like, okay, she got it going on, and just listen to her. A lot of men they don't listen to the woman. You have to listen. You're not a woman. I don't care how much you think you got to figure it out. You know, be open-minded.
So I do respect that. I do want to pivot a little bit into something that I'm also seeing, and that's 50-50. And that's the role of the modern wife with like corporate America versus independence versus being a team with her husband, right? So I'm of the mind state, and it could be I could be flawed in my theory and whatnot, that if I'm with a woman, if she's gonna get up early in the morning and go punch a clock and call another man a boss and help brand that man, because it's not just you're not just working for a company, you brand in that company. Like you believe in that company, your life force, your energy. When I ask you, what do? You bring that company up. Oh, I work for this and that person. I didn't ask you that. I said, what do you do? You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't feel that a woman going to another man to help their dream become a reality is going to pour into their husband or their loved one the same way if she was locked in with that man and they were the business. She ain't going nowhere. We've locked in. This is our job together. Whatever I'm doing or whatever you're doing, you're a great brander. I say there's no better brander in the world than black women. Think about it. Not black men in particular. We could stamp something, but what we stamp, it don't turn gold the same way that when y'all stamp it. I start making music for women and they stamp me. I'm out of here. I start making women clothes, the Teflon bag, and they stamp that shit. I'm out of here. You know what I mean? It's the stamp. And the stamp goes a long way. So when y'all stamp corporate America, when y'all stamp Fortune 500, when y'all stamp Harvey Weinstein, when y'all stamp all of these things that we know is, you know what I mean? It's like, damn, they give them the power. But why they not stamping a man who got his own shoe line, who got his own clothing line, you know what I mean? Who got his own whatever, so we could blow up together type shit. So what do you think about a married man in this year, in this, because we're in the age of the entrepreneur. If I had this conversation 20 years ago, it might not have hit the same.
Yeah.
But because we're in the age of, now I'm gonna give you the ages that we're in. We're in the age of the entrepreneur. We're in the age of the passion economy. We're in the age of the creator economy. We're in the age of the gig economy. We're also in the age of the lust economy. So there's wild new economies. We're in the age of the digital economy, where you could wake up to $1 million if you set your shit the right. I got virtual assistants that work for me while I'm sleeping. And there's no better feeling to wake up to a bag that you didn't really have to work for. You just paid for. You paid somebody their fee, but then they went ahead and quadrupled your money while you was asleep because they in a different time zone. So what is your theory, or what is your thoughts about this new paradigm of melanated couples, you know, cutting off 9 to 5s and getting it in together, and the woman stamping her husband or her man or her mate?
That's how it's supposed to be typically, because that's why married men and men with a woman by his side go further.
They do.
Because once someone sees a woman with you, they feel like, okay, he's good. We can trust him.
Right.
When they see a man standing alone by himself, we don't know what you might have going on, you know, but something about the presence of a woman allows other people to trust a man. So ideally, that's how it should be. Your woman is supposed to be like your personal assistant in a way.
Can I add on to that? What's the most powerful piece on a chessboard?
The queen.
Okay. So a man without a queen, you're not playing chess. Because it's not really the king that they're paying attention to. It's really the queen. And if your queen could get checkmated by anybody, fam, then it's game over for you. Henceforth, why, you know, a man would tell his wife, I don't want to see you smiling and beguiling in everybody's face. That might be the ops. So when we sending our women into corporate America, that is the other side of the chessboard. And they are checkmating our women. You feel me? Because a queen could go in a room that a king can't go into. They'll cut your head off in certain rooms where they won't cut your head off. However, a queen in a room with no protection, she could get checkmated. You dig what I'm saying? Henceforth, why it might not be her king with her, she might have a bishop with her to protect her. You know what I mean? But y'all go in rooms that we don't go in. Okay? So when they see a certain, that's why presidents, CEOs and people in power and whatnot, like you said, they have to produce a queen. Because this is chess. Henceforth, why Jay-Z became more powerful when he got that queen piece. But if anybody ever said that they slept with Beyonce while he was with her, he's no longer Jay-Z. Game over. Checkmate.
Like Will Smith.
Checkmate. It's definitely been a beautiful. Clap it up, y'all, please. We've had a great build. Thank you for your answers and whatnot.